Good morning, class 12, and welcome to the classes of costing and taxation. In today's class, we'll be starting with our costing part, and the first chapter in costing is Cost of Materials Part 2. In the 11th standard, we had studied cost of material. In the 12th standard, we'll study cost of material again, but we'll be discussing other topics in cost of material. If you remember, in the 11th standard, the cost of material was to determine the economic order quantity mainly. In this standard, things are going to be a bit easier for material. Only for material, things will be easier. Means you won't get tricky sums just like EOQ or anything, not any formula, but you will get things that you have to organize. If you organize things, you can do the sums. So we'll study later in this class that how to make problems on materials, on cost of materials. So first let me give you an introduction to materials. As we all know, material is what it is, also a raw material for a production business, and it is a material for a person who just sells those goods to another person. So for both person the material is same. So you don't have to copy all this. This is just a theory for the introduction of chapter. It is just to make you understand. You can read this, but you don't have to copy this at all. Okay, we'll discuss the theory part later. The theory part is quite boring, so I want to keep it for later, so that we don't lose interest in the chapter. Okay, so in short, material is anything that is used in production, or it is the input that we purchase and then sell it at a higher price to other businessmen. Now, why do we need to perform the this cost of material? Why, whatever we are going to do now, why do we need to do it? The first point is conciliation for proper quality with price of material. You don't have to copy this again, I'm telling you. Conciliation of proper quality with price of material. It means that when a business buys a material, it checks the price and quality from several different companies, and then it buys the material which gives it the best quality at the best price, then purchase at competitive price. Now, uh, the public will not purchase my goods if my goods are priced more than the goods of customer competitors, than the goods of my competitors. So I have to buy the goods either at a low price or at the same price as my competitors. Now, how is this possible? If I purchase my raw material or material at low price as possible, or the same price as my competitors are buying, then I'll be able to reduce my cost of sale also. Then continue supply of material. Now, material costing is also performed so that the supply of material does not stop. It tells us that how much material is left in stock, how much we have to buy, and how much is needed for production or selling. So with the help of this material costing, the supply of material remains continuous, it doesn't stop. Then equilibrium in the stock of material. Equilibrium means balance. You have to keep balance. You can't keep very much stock because it will result in overcosting, like cost of storage, and maybe the goods will perish, or maybe the goods will, they can be destroyed due to some reasons if there are more than the goods required. That is called overstocking. And the second thing is understocking. If there are less goods, suppose you should keep 1,000 units but you are keeping only 400 units in your warehouse, so that is also not a good thing. Because if suddenly a customer demands more than 400 goods, then the company will not be able to give prompt means quick delivery. Then the company will not be able to give quick delivery to the customer. So therefore it is also important that you keep good amount of material which is determined with the help of costing of materials. And last is to reduce the wastage and losses, so that you keep a track of the material, how much is lost normally and abnormally. Okay, so these were some of the few reasons why we are going to do this chapter, and this may come in your exam, but if you want to really copy it, then just copy the heading, don't copy the insides of it. They are in your book. When you'll buy the book, you'll get it in your book. Okay, now we come to the main practical chapter. So principles of valuation of materials. No, this is not the principles of valuation of material. These are the methods of valuation of materials. Okay, these are the methods. Now the methods that will be followed, I know that you are not being able to understand anything now, but please be with me throughout the class, and I hope you'll understand the class. So there are four methods: FIFO, first in first out; LIFO, last in first out; simple average price; and weighted average price method. So we'll do each method one by one. So today we'll start with FIFO method. Now what does FIFO method say? Okay, we'll come to this later. Now what does FIFO method say? FIFO method, commonly known as first in first out, is an asset management and valuation method in which assets produced or acquired first are sold first. Okay, now come to this stores ledger. Now in this chapter we have to prepare this only. Okay, forget this one, and forget this one. Pay attention to from here to here. Pay attention to this part. Now if you see here, this is the date column, this is the receipt column. Okay, receipt means whatever I am purchasing, whatever goods I am purchasing will be recorded over here. Okay, issues means whatever goods I am selling, it will be recorded over here. All right, and balance means after purchasing and after selling, whatever goods I have left will be recorded over here. Fine. Receipt means purchase, issues means selling, sale, sorry, and balance means to keep the record of how much is left after receipt and issues. Okay, you have to draw this just for the record. Okay, now come to the inner columns. This GR number and SR number, they are nothing, just like journal folio and ledger folio. They are hardly used. So if you don't draw in the exam, I'll allow it. But we'll talk about the annual term board exams later. I'll tell you if you have to draw it or not. But for now, if for my homework, you don't need to draw GR number and SR number. You just need to draw receipts, quantity, rate, amount. Now coming to the other columns, quantity. Now whenever we are purchasing in this chapter, whenever we are purchasing, it's not like Ram. It's not like we bought goods for 50,000. No, it will be like a person, he bought 50 number of units for 100 rupees each. Okay, 50 units. So we write 50 over here. Receipt, we are purchasing, right? So quantity 50 means 50 units. Units or quantity mean the same thing. Okay, 50 units, so quantity 50, so we write 50 over here. And at what price? At rupees 100 per unit. Keep it in mind, the rate recorded here is rate per unit. Okay, rate per unit. And here the amount means quantity into rate. Okay, amount means quantity into rate, so we write the amount here. Now the next thing, it comes issues. Issues means whatever we are selling. Now quantity, right? So quantity, what how much units we are selling, we record it over here. Then at what rate we are selling, we'll record it over here, and then multiply both of them, quantity into rate, amount. Next, the balance, how much goods I have left. Suppose I bought 100 goods at 100 rupees, means 10,000 rupees, right? 100 units, 100 rupees, 10,000 rupees. I sold 50 units at, say, 100 rupees. This is not logical, but please just suppose that I sold 50 units for 100 rupees, so I sold 5,000 rupees. amount 5,000. Now the balance left will be 50 units, 50, 100 rupees and 5,000. Okay, the rate will remain same because the rate is 100 rupees for per unit. The quantity and amount will change. We'll do many problems on these types of sums. So if even if you have got the slightest idea, it's okay with me. You don't have to know the whole chapter now. Okay, now the real problem arises that what they do is that they give you all the information of receipts. They tell you that in X number of units means 5,000 units are purchased for 5 rupees per unit, and they give you all the information, and they also give you the number of units for sales. Right, they also give you the number of units. For suppose 5,000 units was purchased, they give you the number of units, like 2,000 units were sold. The only thing that they do not give is rate for sales. They tell you to find out the rate of sales on your own. Okay, and that is where the methods of valuation come in the picture: FIFO method, LIFO method. Okay, what did they tell you? They tell you that the company had 5,000 units, it sold 2,000 units. It will say the company has 5,000 units for 10 rupees, it sold 2,000 units, and it will not tell you the price. Okay, you will have to uh, calculate or know the price on your own. Now this is what the whole chapter is about: knowing the rate of selling. Okay, and then calculate the balance. All right, so first in first out is an asset management and valuation method in which assets produced or acquired first are used, sold or disposed at of first. Okay, so FIFO method is the first method that we are going to practice. And in FIFO method, what happens? Goods we are purchasing, whatever goods we are purchasing first will be sold first. Okay, so let's do an example. All right. So suppose I bought 100 goods, 100 units at the rate of 5 rupees each, 5 rupees each. Right. Then again I bought 50 units at 10 rupees each. Okay. So I have 100 units of 5 rupees each and 50 units of 10 rupees each. So means this totals to, let's change the figure a bit so that you don't get confused. Let's make it 50 units for 6 rupees each. Okay, so means we have 5,000, this is amount, 5,000 here, and 50 into 6, 300 over here. And sorry, this is 500, not 5,000. 500. So now the sums tells me that I have sold suppose 50 units of the goods. I have sold how much? 50 units sold. And it will not tell you the rate of selling. Now under FIFO method, first in first out method, what we assume that the goods which have been purchased first will be sold first by me. So now which goods has been purchased by me first? 100 units, right? This was purchased afterwards. This was purchased first. So 100 units at the rate of 5 rupees each. So we will assume that this was the goods that was sold for selling this. I'm I'm repeating it again. 100 units purchased for 5 rupees each, 50 units purchased for 6 rupees each. Okay, now what they told that 50 units have been sold. Now they have not told me the rate of selling. Now I will assume that this 50 units is sold from this 100. Okay, first these 100 units will be sold, and then only any other unit will be sold. So 50 units I assume at the rate of 5 each. So 2050 sold. Sorry, 250 sold. Now again I have purchased P, purchased, issued. Okay. Now again I have purchased say 60 units at the rate of 4 each is equal to 240. Okay. So 50 units at the rate of 4 each. Now again I issued. Issued how much? This time I issued say 100 units. Now they won't tell me the rate. I'll have to calculate the rate by myself. Now see what happened. I had First I had 100 units at 5 rupees each. Then I had 50 units at 6 rupees each. Right. Then I sold 50 units from which? From this stock. From this stock. So I had 50 units of this stock left. I had 50 units of this stock left and 50 of this stock. And I also have 60 units over here. Observe it. I had 100 units at first, then 50 units. Then I sold 50 from which? From this stock. So from here I had only 50 units left. From here I had full 50 units left because nothing was sold from here. And then newly purchased I had 60 units left. This is issued. This was sold from this one. Pay attention only to purchases. 1, 2, 3. 50 left from here, 50 left from here, and 60 left from here. Now I am issuing 100 units. So I'll issue 100 units from which? From this stock and from this stock. Okay, from both of them we'll issue it. How we'll issue it from both of them? 50 units, sorry, 50 units at the rate of 5 and 50 units at the rate of 6. Okay, 50 units at the rate of 5 and 50 units at the rate of 6. So means this will be equal to 250, means 250 from here and 300 from here. Okay, so this was just for the start, just to know, just to show you that whatever units we are purchasing first, we are selling those units first. Now when we issued 100 units, we could have issued it from here, but no, this is FIFO method. Whatever comes first in goes first out, first in first out. This is what this method is about. If now I am assuming that many of you did not get today's class, then no problem. Tomorrow we'll be solving an illustration. This is a detailed illustration, and I am sure that all of you will be able to understand when I solve this illustration. So if you did not understand today's class, then don't tell me, I already know it. Just wait for the next class, and I am 100% sure that you will understand it. Still, if there's anything you want me to ask, you know my email ID, and I know you know, but still, you can email me over here. And please don't miss the next class, because next class is important and interesting. This class might be boring, but you'll enjoy the next class. So that's it for today and have a good day.